Okay.
Is it recording?
I'm angry.
Fuck, I'm angry. Okay, you guys, we have a confession. We just filmed like 18 minutes of this episode, and everything shut off.
Like the computer just shut off.
computer
Like
just
it came
quit.
unplugged.
It just, yeah. And like, how? There's nothing by the plugin to unplug it.
Travis is here.
Okay, so we filmed the podcast. It got interrupted.
Yeah, so now we're starting over.
Now we're restarting, and we're both very, very angry.
Okay.
We're pretty far in.
We were like down to like the investigation.
Yeah, like I'm pissed. Anyway, but aside from the computer shutting off, we have some good news, some exciting news.
Is it exciting?
I think it's exciting.
I think it's exciting. Okay, so
sorry.
We are now posting every Wednesday instead of every other Wednesday.
Yeah, we're posting once a week. Weekly podcast episodes.
That's exciting.
It's very exciting. It's a lot on our end.
So today is Monday, and we typically upload.
We typically film on Friday, but Nicole normally has Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday to edit.
Yeah, that's a long
and
time.
then we post on Wednesday. Today is Monday.
We need to upload on Wednesday.
Today and
tomorrow.
Tuesday to edit, and then we're posting on Wednesday. We kind of rushed this, but we decided on Friday that we wanted to post weekly, so it's our fault.
Yeah,
I'm still excited.
Yeah,
I think
it'll be fine.
it'll be fine.
But this episode is very like cram packed with info.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be probably one of our longest episodes.
Oh, for sure. So
it was becoming one of my favorite episodes until the fucking computer shut off.
Maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
Maybe.
Should we get started?
Let's just get started. Today's episode, if you hadn't caught on by literally us saying who it was earlier. So today's episode is about, as Miss D would put it, a pretty girl who got caught because she's a brat. Yeah.
First of all, she's not that pretty. I mean, she's pretty, sure, but she's not like.
Nicole's very caught up. She has an ugly heart.
Yeah, that's poetic.
Thank you so much.
But here's the thing. I'm over here single.
Right.
So if you get to have a boyfriend.
You have the privilege of having a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Why would you kill him?
Don't kill him. Are you crazy? I mean, she was.
Yeah, she's a psychopath.
So should we just get started?
Yeah, let's jump right in.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is a little bit of background on Travis Alexander. So Travis Alexander was born on July 28th of 1977 in Riverside, California to Gary David Alexander and Pamela Elizabeth Morgan Alexander. At the age of 11, Travis moved in with his paternal grandparents because his parents were addicted to meth. That's not good.
That's not wonderful at all.
No. I would also like to mention that he had 7 siblings.
Oh, wow.
Or his parents had 7 kids. Either way, there were 6 or 7 of them.
Right.
Insane. His grandparents introduced him to Mormonism, which later he got, like, super into.
Yes.
Alexander was a salesman and a motivational speaker for a prepaid legal service. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little background on Jodi. Jodi was born on July 9th of 1980 in Salinas, California to William and Sandra Arias. She grew up in a stable home. She was said to be quiet, a good student, artistic, and very pretty. Again, Nicole does not agree with. Jodi was said to have always had a boyfriend. She kind of jumped from guy to guy quite often, and men then became her weakness. In conclusion, she was a hoe.
Yep.
At the time that she had, in quote unquote, fell in love with Travis, she had a boyfriend, like a serious boyfriend.
Of 4 years.
4 years, and here she is falling in love with another guy. She then broke up with the boyfriend of 4 years for Travis, telling him, "I'm saving myself for my future husband." Like, yeah, fucking right.
Okay.
Jodi was not a Mormon, which became a problem for Travis. Because he was very, very invested in his faith.
Yeah.
Jodi was said to have always been searching for who she was as a person, and she had kind of thought that maybe Travis could help her find herself.
Sure.
Don't you love how I kind of dance around as I'm talking? Within 2 months of meeting Travis, Jodi then decided to become a Mormon, and Travis then became her sponsor.
Okay, so their relationship background. So she and Alexander met in September of 2006 at a work conference in Vegas. Arias converted to Alexander's Mormon faith, and on November 26th of 2006, she was baptized into the LDS Church in a ceremony in Southern California. Alexander and Arias began dating in February of 2007, and then Arias moved to Mesa,
Yeah.
either one, to live closer to Alexander.
Arizona, first of all. Mesa, Arizona.
Oh, yeah, did I not say
by
that?
the way.
Alexander and Arias dated on and off for a year and a half, and then often it was a long distance relationship, taking turns traveling between their respective Arizona and California homes. Alexander's friends who knew Arias and observed them together tended to have a negative opinion of her, stating that their relationship was hectic and that Arias' behavior was worrying.
Yes.
The more they slept together, the less he saw her as...
Okay, well, first of all, we should probably mention this. Okay, so Travis and Jodi had a very sexual relationship, and in the Mormon faith, they do not believe in premarital sex.
Yeah.
So Travis was pretty well having like this double life, per se, where on the outside, looking in, you saw Travis as a wonderful Mormon virgin boy. Okay. So on the outside looking in, you saw Travis as this wonderful Mormon virgin boy who is waiting to find a, beautiful, faithful Mormon wife one day.
Yeah.
But really, truly, behind closed doors, he was getting it on with Jodi Arias as often as possible.
Yeah. But the more they slept together...
Yeah, the more they slept together, he then, the less he saw her as a wife material. But Jodi was a big dum-dum and never really caught on to that.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the murder.
Okay.
Yeah. So Alexander was killed on June 4th of 2008. He sustained 27 to 29 stab wounds, a slit throat, and a gunshot wound to the head. Medical examiner Kevin Horn testified that Alexander's jugular vein,
Carotid?
Okay.
Yeah.
So medical examiner Kevin Horn testified that Alexander's jugular vein, common carotid artery, and trachea had been slashed, and that Alexander had defensive wounds on his hands. Horn further testified that Alexander may have been dead at the time the gunshot was inflicted, and that the back wounds were shallow. Which
That's where he was stabbed.
Pretty well all the stab wounds were on his back. Alexander's death was ruled a homicide, and he was buried at Riverside Olivewood Cemetery. Yeah, let's jump into the
discovery and investigation.
Yeah.
So kind of like how they put the pieces together to figure out what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in early of 2008, Alexander told people that Jodi would join him for a work-related trip to Cancun, Mexico, and that was scheduled for June 15th.
Right.
In April, Alexander asked to change his travel companion to another female friend, which was...
Mimi Hall.
And he saw
Mimi Hall as, like, a...
potential
wife.
Okay, yeah.
So, on May 28th of 2008, a burglary had occurred at the residence of Arias' grandparents, with whom Arias was living with at the time. Among the missing objects was a .25 caliber automatic Colt pistol, which was never recovered. This later became significant as a shell casing from a .25 caliber round was found near Alexander's body at the murder scene. So it's pretty obvious that, you just kind of tie those in together. On June 2nd, between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., Arias called Alexander 4 times, but did not appear to get through to him, since the longest of the calls was 17 seconds. After 3 a.m., Alexander called Arias twice. The first time was 18 minutes, the second time for 41 minutes. And then at 4:03 a.m., Arias called Alexander back, and the call lasted 2 minutes 48 seconds. Neither of these calls nor the transcripts of them were presented to in the Jodi Arias trial, though.
At 5:39 a.m., Arias set out to drive south to rent a car for a long road trip to Utah, as stated in evidence by a gasoline purchase at Shell Food Mart in Wairika.
Yes.
Okay. On June 2nd at 8:04 a.m., Arias rented a car at Budget Rent-A-Car in Redding, California. She indicated that she would return the car to Budget in Redding. Arias visited friends in Southern California on her way to Utah for a work conference and to meet with Ryan Burns, a co-worker.
Who she's also kind of seeing at the time, supposedly.
She was in love with Travis and she was seeing another guy?
Well, they had broken up.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, Nicole.
Sorry, I forgot.
By late evening on June 3rd, Arias apparently set out for Salt Lake City, Utah. But Alexander missed an important conference call on the evening of June 4th. The following day, Arias met up with Burns in the Salt Lake City neighborhood of West Jordan, Utah, and attended business meetings for the conference. Burns later said that he had noticed Arias' formerly blonde hair was now dark brown, and that she had cuts on her hands. And then on June 6th, Arias left Salt Lake City and drove towards California.
She called Alexander several times and left several voicemail messages for him. She also accessed Alexander's cell phone voicemail system. Why?
I have no fucking clue.
She's insane.
I don't really get her.
When Arias returned the car on June 7th, it had been driven about 2,800 miles. A rental clerk testified that the car was missing its floor mats and had red stains on its front rear seats. It could not be verified that the car had floor mats when Arias picked it up, and any stains could not be verified since the car was cleaned before the police could examine it.
So Travis, as we recall, was going on a work trip to Cancun, Mexico, and he had said that Jodi was going, and then later had switched it to a different friend, that friend being Mimi Hall.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Mimi Hall, the days leading up to them leaving to that work trip, was unable to get a hold of Travis and decided to get a hold of some of his friends, and they went over to Travis's house. So his roommates had not seen him for several days, but believed he was out of town and thus did not think anything was, out of the ordinary. First of all, it was said that when Mimi Hall and the friends had gone in the house, there was automatically a foul smell.
Oh, yeah.
So these roommates had been living in this house for 5 days.
With a dead body.
And not one of them realized it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? And they kind of played it off as, well, we're bachelors. So it could have been dirty clothes, dirty dishes, or a bunch of garbage, It never stood out to them as, obviously, they never once thought, our friend's dead in his bathroom. Yeah. They just thought maybe they should clean up.
Okay. After finding a key to Alexander's master bedroom, his friends entered and found large pools of blood in the hallway to the master bathroom, where his body was discovered in the shower.
In the 911 call, the dispatcher asked if Alexander had been suicidal or if anyone was angry enough to hurt him. Alexander's friends specifically mentioned Arias as a possible suspect, stating that Alexander had said that she was stalking him, accessing his Facebook account and slashing his car tires.
And I know, so this is like a little story about the tire slashing. So pretty much so him and his friend, a girl that he liked and that was saying her name, I think her name was Lisa Andrews.
Yes.
So Travis and Lisa were just chilling, watching a movie or something. And it happened. First of all, let me say this. 2 things happened. One, Travis fell asleep while they were watching the movie, and they got woken up because they heard a noise downstairs. So Travis went downstairs and he found Jodi standing in the kitchen, and she admitted that she had broken in, and then
had watched them.
And had watched them sleep. Another thing is that the doorbell rang. I don't know if this was the same night, but they were together again, like, Lisa was over at Travis's house, and, they heard, like, the doorbell ring, so they opened the door, nobody was there, and then they, like, looked outside, like, nothing, so they went back inside, and the next day, it happened again, and they noticed that his car tires were slashed twice.
Yes. Okay, and then the day after, Jodi had snuck into the house watching them sleep,
Yeah.
Lisa had received a threatening email from a John Doe, and the email
It's pretty lengthy. And it's also
pretty stupid.
Yeah.
So this John Doe wrote, "You are a shameful whore. Your heavenly Father must be deeply ashamed of the whoredoms you've committed with that insidious man. If you let him stay in your bed one more time, or even sleep under the same roof as him, you will be giving the appearance of evil." Sorry, this is just so dumb.
It's insane.
"You are driving away the Holy Ghost, and you are wasting your time. You are also compromising your salvation and breaking your baptismal covenants. Of all the commandments to break, committing the act of whoredom is one of the most displeasing in the eyes of the Lord. You cannot be ashamed enough of yourself. You are filthy, and you need to repent and become clean in the eyes of God. Think about your future husband and how you disrespect not only yourself, but him, as well as the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Is that what you want for yourself? Your future, your salvation, and your posterity is resting on your choices and actions. You are a daughter of God, and you have been a shameful example. Be thou clean, sin no more. Heavenly Father loves you and wants you to make the right choices. I know you are strong enough to choose the right. Your Father in heaven is pulling for you. Don't ignore the promptings you receive, because they are ritual to your spiritual well-being." Anyway, and then although Andrew believed it was Arias who sent it, she had no definite proof, but it was Arias who sent it. That was like I is she okay? How did she come up with that fucking letter?
I told Olivia this earlier, but it sounds literally like a copy and paste message.
Yeah.
Like first of all, if she took the time to write that, she's insane. The fact that
she's insane.
The fact that she okay, yeah, this whole thing is insane, but like the fact that she like went the extra mile to send an anonymous email to a girl that Travis may have liked is insane, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. She was a crazy stalker ex-girlfriend.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, back to
the investigation. While searching Alexander's home, nothing besides obviously the bloody ass bathroom was out of.
Oh wait, no. In here it says, so in the living room, I think. So they had like tile floor in the living room, and then like carpet as well, and the furniture was on the tile, and the furniture was kind of pushed back off the tile. But his roommates just thought he just bought they saw cleaner, so they thought he was just like cleaning the tile floor. Oh. But other than that,
in his bedroom. Okay, so while searching Alexander's home, in his bedroom, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Yeah. It just seemed like he had woken up and left. But then you walk into the bathroom, and it's just a bloody horror scene. Mm-hmm. So nothing seemed weird. There was no real compelling evidence as to who could have killed him. Mm-hmm. And then police searched
the whole
house and had found a recently purchased digital camera damaged in the washing machine. And police were able to recover deleted images showing Arias and Alexander in sexually suggestive poses, taken approximately around 1:40 p.m. on June 4th.
The final photograph on this camera was Alexander alive, showing him in the shower. It was taken at 5:29 p.m. the day he was murdered.
Photos taken moments later show an individual believed to be Alexander profusely bleeding on the bathroom floor. And then there was a bloody palm print discovered along the wall in the bathroom hallway, which contained DNA from both Arias and Alexander.
Okay. On July 9, 2008, Arias was indicted by a grand jury in Maricopa County, Arizona. Is that how you say that? Maricopa?
Who fucking knows?
For the first-degree murder of Alexander. She was arrested at her home on July 15th and then sent to Arizona on September 5th. So she was arrested in California, and then she was sent back to California, or Arizona.
Right.
Arias pled not guilty on September 11th. During this time, she gave several different accounts about her involvement with Alexander's death. She originally told police that she had not been in Mesa on the day of the murder, and she had last seen Alexander in March of 2007. Later told the police that 2 intruders had broken into Alexander's home, murdering him and attacking her. 2 years after her arrest, Arias told the police that she killed Alexander in self-defense, claiming that she had been a victim of domestic violence.
Which is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Complete bullshit.
For sure.
Later began a pretrial.
Yeah, so we can, get into that.
Yeah, let's get into the pretrial. So, on April 6, 2009, a motion to reconsider the defendant's motion to disqualify the Maricopa County District Attorney's Office was denied. And on May 18th, the court had ordered Arias to submit to IQ and competency testing. Later, in January of 2011, a defense filing detailed that... Why did I say detailed like that? Detailed the efforts to which Arias's attorneys went to obtain text messages and emails. The prosecution initially told the defense attorneys that there were no available text messages sent or received by Alexander, and then was ordered to turn over several hundred such messages. And then Mesa Police Detective Esteban Flores told defense attorneys that there was nothing out of the ordinary among Alexander's emails. About 8,000 of them were turned over to the defense in 2009.
Detective Flores was a big part in this. He was the main detective.
He wanted Jodi.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all for the pre-trial. Now this is just the trial.
Let's talk about the jury. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the jury selection and how they came about that.
Yes.
So the trial commenced in Maricopa County Superior Court before Judge Sherry K. Stevens?
Yes.
Okay. On December 10th of 2011. The initial jury selection began on December 10th of 2012. During jury selection on December 20th, Arias' defense attorneys argued that the prosecution was
systematically excluding women and African Americans. And then prosecutor Juan Martinez said that race and sex were irrelevant to his decisions to strike certain jurors. And then Judge Stevens ruled that the prosecution had shown no bias in the jury selection.
This is the trial.
The trial then begins on January 3rd of 2013.
And it just starts and it opens with some
graphic images. Photos came...
Well, we need to make this known. This next part is super,
very, very graphic.
Yeah.
Okay. So, prepare yourselves.
Reading it?
Yeah, here's a fair warning. It's
makes
crazy.
Me uncomfy.
Yeah. So photos came across the courtroom TV screen showing photos that Travis had taken of Jodi's naked body on the last day of his life, and crime scene photos of Alexander's body curled up on the floor of his stand-up shower, his eyes closed, his nose and mouth bloodied, and his slit throat gaping like a toothless grin.
Ew.
I just get chills down. That's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
During the trial, I feel that's so awful for me to just jump from his gaping throat.
That was very descriptive.
To the trial. But, first of all, his family is in the stands, and they're just showing his body just destroyed.
And this is supposed to be their, little virgin Mormon boy.
Yeah. It's so sad. But during the trial, Jodi breaks down and cries, which then, rightfully so, sickened Travis's family.
Mm-hmm.
You stupid bitch. Get your act together. Jodi then unexpectedly takes the stand to testify after people thought it came a lot sooner than it did. No one expected her to testify as soon as she did, or as quickly as she did.
Yeah.
Jodi, while on the stands, then describes her sex life that she had with Travis, the man that she killed.
Meanwhile, His family's there.
is in the stands.
Yeah.
A day later, Arias' defense attorney played an hour-long audio tape of a phone conversation recorded less than a month before the murder, which they talked about their travels and indulged in loud phone sex. Beautiful. Again, his family in the stands.
I just can't imagine like how
uncomfortable
like everyone in the room
was.
Oh,
100%. Which on YouTube, literally, you can watch this entire trial
and
just listen to their fucking phone sex.
Ew.
Yeah.
You can just listen to their fucking phone sex. Jodi then restated while she was on the stand that she killed him as a way of self-defense.
Which is bullshit. Bullshit. Again, just want to say.
Jodi breaks down crying during questioning on the 5th day under an intense cross-examination when she was asked about the killing. Until then, she had successfully held off prosecutor Juan Martinez's steady attack, his insults, and his word games, sometimes smiling at him and correcting his grammar.
He was correcting his grammar, which Nicole and I said we probably would.
Yeah,
well, not on fucking trial.
Yeah.
But, like, in life, I correct people's grammar all the time. My mom posts me the grammar, please.
I don't think you're using that word right. You want to try again?
Yeah. Fuck. That just... Could you imagine? She's got some balls. Like, she's got balls the size of Georgia. Like, she's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The prosecutor then continued his cross-examination, accusing Richard Samuels, a defense expert who had diagnosed Jodi with PTSD, of having feelings for Jodi. And then on May 8th of 2013, Jodi was finally found guilty of premeditated murder in the death of Travis Alexander.
Yeah.
The jury could not reach a unanimous decision about whether or not to sentence Arias to death, and instead they split 8-4 in favor of death. A retrial was set for September 8th of 2014, and Jodi Arias was set to represent herself at this retrial to determine whether or not she deserved the death penalty. And by the grace of God, well, not really, because she deserved the death penalty, but finally, I guess we should say finally, on April 13th of 2015, Jodi Arias was sentenced to life in prison without parole. That was a long-ass trial.
That was...
He was killed in 2008, and she was sentenced in 2015.
Yeah.
Also, I want to talk about this entire
we have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, I want to
But,
discuss.
now we don't have any notes to go off of, so this part's going to be a
lot more natural. I want to talk about during her trial. First of all, hold on.
Go to the questioning.
Let's go to the questioning. That just okay.
Oh
during her questioning, this bitch. Okay, first of all, someone takes me into questioning and is accusing me of murder. I'm going to be very upset.
I'm going to be crying.
I'm going to be crying. Be like, I did not do it. Yeah. This bitch was very calm and did not care.
When the person questioning her left the room,
which was Flores.
Yeah,
Detective Flores.
She starts singing.
Yeah, she starts singing Silent Night.
And then she does a headstand.
Yeah, she goes up against the wall, does a fucking headstand on the wall, and just having a good old time, a grand old time. But then it was said during the questioning again, a lady, I do not remember her name, had come in to question her.
Yeah, because they thought she would connect better with a lady.
Well, instead, she would not speak to this lady, and instead wanted Detective Flores again, thus continuing on her obsession with men.
Yeah.
She connected to men a lot more. And then when she was Flores was like, fuck it, I'm over it, and arrested her.
Mm-hmm.
Because he thought that he had enough evidence to arrest her. Well, he did. Okay. She denied this the entire time. Yeah. So he's like, well, I have some photos I want to show you. Okay. I have some photos I want to show you.
This is the funniest
He pulls out some photos, and first he shows her photos of Travis, and she's like, is he in the shower? Like, that's crazy. He would never do that.
He would never take a shower.
Yeah, no. He would never take photos, like naked photos in a shower. So then he's like, well, what about this? And it's literally Jodi's naked ass body on his bed. And she's like, oh, that looks like me.
That looks like
me.
You
stupid bitch. And he's like, yeah, that does look like you. And she's like, that's crazy. It looks like me. just playing it off like that. She never took those. And then he was like, these were taken, before a little before his murder. So Jodi then said that the dates on the pictures could have been edited and that she was not there. Again, holding herself to she was not there the day of the murder. And then there was another photo where it was literally his dead body and then her foot.
her pants.
And he was like, those are your pants. And she's like, those are my pants, but that's not me. Like, just holding on to, like, she was not there. But, bitch, we have photos of you.
She's, like, admitting, like, yep, those are my pants.
Yeah.
That girl looks like me, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, and then he was like, he then got over the photos because this bitch was not admitting. He really thought he had her with the fucking nudes that she had taken.
And he did, because it was her.
It was her, but he thought that he wanted her. He had enough evidence to arrest her, but he wanted a confession. And then he brought up that they had found her hair in the sink and that there was her very own bloody palm print.
In the shower?
I can't remember where it was at. But they had found that and she said, well, I can explain the hair.
Mm-hmm.
She said that if you sweep up every inch of that home, you will find her hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Touche. Whatever. Sure, I guess. But that does not explain the bloody palm print.
Did she have an excuse for that one?
I believe she did. I don't have it at the tip of my tongue. I should have wrote that one down. But she was just stupid about it. She was very, very... She played dumb.
Yeah, a lot.
She was like, I was not there. Just very stupid.
Oh, by the way, when his friends enter the home, they had to enter through the garage.
Okay. And
also, sometimes it was said that Jodi sometimes entered through the doggy door.
What? What?
That's how insane she was. She's like, I can't get in, so I'm just going to crawl through his dog's door.
His dog's name was Napoleon, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fucking
See, that's where it is. Entering through the doggy exit, which is like here.
That is crazy. We have a book, by the way. We
bought a book.
We bought a book about this.
So like, everything was like in place.
Yeah. It's a beautiful home.
That really is.
There's the hottest cop right there. Yeah.
Where? And, wait, what? Arias kept the flyer from Travis's memorial service in her bedroom.
Oh, yeah, she was at his funeral.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? She was at his fucking funeral. And you know how she found out he was dead?
I mean,
one of his best... Well, no.
He killed him? Or she killed him?
That was really stupid.
She killed him?
She killed him. But one of his best friends...
hot.
With the cop? Isn't he hot as hell?
Yeah.
Anyway, so, guys, detective...
That was Michael Mendez, or...
Sheriff Detective Nathan Mendez, very attractive. One of his friends then called Jodi and said, Travis is dead. And she was like, oh my god, and started crying. And then she was at his funeral. Okay, let's just recap real quick. Jodi and Travis met
at a work conference
in Vegas. And Jodi is psycho. She's crazy.
Yeah, but at the time
she was...
Never mind, we already covered it.
She was very fascinated with men. Well, obviously, she was always fascinated with men. And Travis gave her the attention that she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So then she kind of fell in love with Travis. And Travis kind of just saw her as like a...
Fuck buddy?
Fuck buddy. Somebody just to sleep with all the time. But never once did he see her as a wife because she was openly just like sleeping with him. And Jodi never caught on to the fact that he never wanted to marry her due to that. Okay, so Jodi goes to his house. The day of the murder. Let's detail that again. Not really detail it. Oh, fuck.
But like, this is
let's get back into the murder that happened. Before he was murdered, Jodi showed up at his house unexpectedly, and he's like, "Whatever, come in." And they had sex.
Because they do. That's all they do.
That's all they do. Then they end up not fucking. they did do that. They end up just taking loads of just naked photos of each other, like as a hobby. Just kind of like, let's just have a photo shoot of each other.
I was watching a video on her last night,
right.
And the girl goes, she was obsessed with photography when she was younger, and I go, you don't say.
No shit. But okay, so they're just taking loads of nudes for no fucking reason. I'm not really quite sure. And Travis is like, I gotta take a shower because I got a long day or whatever. I don't really know. gotta wash the filth off me or something.
Something.
So he gets in the shower, and Jodi then walks in with a knife held behind her back and the camera. And he just thinks that
I want to know her mind, like how her brain is processing right at that moment.
Oh, like, I have no fucking clue. I don't know.
Like, she's working it.
Fuck,
She's like, I'm gonna kill this guy.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Well, did she kill him because he was, like, seeing other women?
Because he didn't want a relationship with her. I mean, I can see why. But, so she walks into the bathroom with a knife behind her back and the camera in her hand. And he thinks that she just wants to take more photos of him in the shower. So he's like, Jodi, what are you doing? And then starts posing, like, with, like, these, like, I guess you'd say, like, sexy model poses, I guess. But they weren't. They're just fucking weird as hell in the shower. And he then kind of there's a photo, which is so crazy. There's a photo of him realizing what she's doing. Like, she grabs the knife, and then there's a photo of his eyes just kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And, you can just see the terror in his eyes, and then she just starts fucking stabbing him in the back.
Like,
27 to 29
like,
times.
she was just, like, going off.
Yeah, she had taken a knife to him, and there were, again, it said that he had tried to defend himself as much as he could, but, you get stabbed in the back 27 to 29 times.
So she went off. She was stabbing him.
She went off.
And after, like, he was dead at this point, and then she slit his throat.
She's fucking just gaping.
Like, that was deep. And I was texting Olivia about this the other day, and she said, like, if she read somewhere that, like, if
it would have been any deeper, he would have been decapitated.
That's deep.
That's crazy. And then, so, Jodi then decided as the, like, she hadn't done enough to him.
Apparently.
After he was dead, to then shoot him in the head.
In the temple. Was his roommates home during this time?
No.
I was about to say, because it'd be pretty hard to not hear a gunshot in your house.
No, they were home alone. Then left Travis's house and drove to, what was it, Jordan County or some shit like that? West Jordan, in Salt Lake City, and was with Ryan Burns, sorry. Ryan said that when she got there, she was normal. Like, nothing had happened. When she had just fucking murdered someone.
Okay, first of all.
Like, Amanda Ham who?
So first of all, killing someone is insane. Let's make that clear. And the fact that she went into the shower taking pictures of him as she was killing him, that's insane. And then she just, like, kind of went on with her day, like, nothing, like, happened. She was like, oh, it was a normal day. That's crazy.
So crazy. And then her parents, they ended up questioning her parents. Just, to find out a little bit more about her. And her mom had said that Jodi tried to play off that she had an awful childhood, when in fact she didn't.
Yeah.
And then her dad said that Jodi hid a lot of stuff from them. Like, as a child, she was pretty open and they had a lot of trust. And then when she was in the 8th grade, they had, she was growing weed in her bedroom. And, I don't know about you, but my dad would not be happy with that. And, same as her parents decided to then call the sheriff's department and to have them do a search in her room. And so they found it, and she got in a lot of trouble, obviously. And from that point on, from 8th grade to, now, she never opened up to her parents. She never told them. She was very, very, very secretive about everything she did, just from them.
I want to know, like, what happened, because she seemed like a good kid up until, like, they caught her growing weed in her room, and then after that, she was like,
I mean, that doesn't make you an awful person, but...
No. I'm just saying, like, but then she was, like, jumping man to man, and I wonder if, like, a specific man had something to do with, like...
Travis.
But he didn't, like, abuse her.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I think her just obsession got a little out of hand, and she didn't know how to handle herself, maybe? I don't know. Again, Misty said she was just a brat who got caught.
I mean, I guess.
She didn't get her way.
So she kills someone? I'm not condoning this at all, but, like, there's other ways to go about an obsession, Write them letters. Send them to their house. Blow up their phone. Don't kill them.
Stalking on its own is, like,
Creepy.
fucking crazy enough. But you can't stop there.
Also,
Let's kill the man.
Not only, like, the killing, because that was insane, but, like, I think another insane part. She went into his house and watched him sleep with another girl.
Oh, yeah, that was bizarre.
Insane.
Yeah.
She snuck into his house. And then when he went down to confront her, she's like, yep, I came in here.
I came in. I just wanted to say what's up. Yeah, that's crazy. And then again, during her, I think we discussed this already. During her questioning, she was just very, like, nothing happened. Like, doing fucking handstands and singing Silent Night. And then, okay, before they arrested her, he was like, okay, I'm gonna arrest you. Mm-hmm. She was like, this is gonna come off as very, self-centered, kind of crazy, conceited. But is, like, there any way that I could go clean up and, like, fix my makeup before I
get my mugshot?
And they're like, no. Not a fucking chance. And then Detective Nathan Mendez, the hot detective
God, he's so hot.
The county jail. I fucking don't know. Let's ask him. So, and then during her mugshot, Detective Nathan Mendez said that she was, like, wiping her mascara and, like, dolling herself up, and then she fucking smiled, like, tilted her head and, like, smiled for her mugshot, like nothing was happening. And then during her trial, again, she was, psychopathic.
There's, in this book that we bought,
by the way, it's called Conviction, The Untold Story of Putting Jodi Arias Behind Bars by Juan Martinez. Martinez was the prosecutor.
Yeah. So, in the book, there's like a few pictures of, like, things that have happened, and one of the pictures is Jodi, like, before it gets started, like, so the jury is coming in, they're sitting down, and the picture is of Jodi just looking at Travis's family, just, like, looking at them.
Like, what's up?
What? Like, do not look at them, okay? You don't deserve to, like, I'm so angry.
This case is probably one of our longer... Actually, no, this
maybe not. It's, like, the same thing as the Elizabeth Smart case. We thought we had a lot more information, and I'm sure we didn't cover it all, again, because we never fucking do.
We had fucking 3 days to research this one.
And if I'm going to be quite honest, I started my research last night.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Me too.
So we've only been researching for about, like,
24 hours.
Yep, and this is what we came up with.
We made the decision ultimately on Friday and gave ourselves fucking 3 days to research, and then we didn't
until last night. But and then we came here, and, like, she got to my house, and I knew you were going to. And then I'm like, text me when you're here. I'm doing some last minute research. God, but that's what I came up with in 24 hours. Yeah. So I think it's fine.
I think we did good.
Yeah. So this will be up on the 17th. And then, and then after that, it's just every Wednesday.
Yep.
So, thank you so much for listening to this episode of You're Gonna Hate Us.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed. Follow us on Instagram at You're Gonna Hate Us and on Twitter at You Are Gonna Hate Us.
Email us any cases you want covered at You're Gonna Hate Us podcast at gmail.com. Is that a thing we do?
Or DM us.
Yeah.
Let us know what cases you want to do.
We have some.
Or if you want us to do.
We have some.
We have a lot.
Yeah.
We have a whole fucking board right there.
Yeah. You can see.
Yeah. And we want to know your thoughts on Jodi Arias. So,
yeah.
Comment below your thoughts on this fucking
crazy.
Every episode I call one of the girls a crazy bitch. Tune in next week as we will be discussing the Casey Anthony case and the disappearance of Kaylee Anthony.
She fucking did it.
She fucking did it. She did it. Casey did it. But this is not that case.
That fucking race car?
It's a fucking Jeep that's covered in mud.
Oh, that's fun. They have a little fun time.
It's not a cool Jeep, though.
Okay. Alright, so that is all. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Whatever you need to do.
Follow us on our social medias. And tune in next Wednesday as we cover the Casey Anthony case.
Okay, bye.
Bye.